I'm gonna make some spice pasty, which is a variation on the Cornish pasties. I'm gonna put some turmeric into the short crust pastry. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna use up the little bit of fat in there. I'm gonna use up the whole butter. So that's if it's 250 grams. This is I think it's a pastry. What's it called? It's a pastry biscuit type fat. Probably vegetable fat. Vegetable. Quite cheap. I got it in Asda for about 55 pence. Anyway, I'm gonna use all that. You can use butter if you want, but this is very good for making pastry. Now, I've got turmeric, about 500 grams of flour, and 250 grams of margarine, pastry, blah blah blah, and about, I'd say, 20 grams of turmeric. No more than 20 grams. It's going to turn the pastry yellow. So it will then be 480 grams of flour and 20 grams of turmeric. So it's going to turn the pastry yellow. And what we're looking for is a breadcrumb consistency. So if it's 500 grams of flour, it's approximately 125 milliliters of cold water. Yeah. And you'll see that the pastry, the last time I did the pastry, I did it on the workbench, but I've got a bowl now, so I'll do it in the bowl. Yeah. So we're looking for a sandy texture. Once we reach that sandy texture, then I'm going to make my, now because it's in the bowl, what I will do is I can do that well, can't I? Now remember the last time I did it, I used both hands, but when I do it in the bowl, I spin the bowl around like this and just put one hand in here, kneading the pastry. Because the pastry is in the bowl, it won't go all over the place. I only need to get one hand dirty, and so I'm kneading the pastry in here. Kneading the pastry. So one hand in the bowl, one hand just turning the bowl as and when. Once again, the pastry itself is salted, the butter, sorry. So I don't need to add any salt to the actual pastry. So I keep kneading until I get it all coming together. Remember this one thing, you don't want a lot of water in there, because if the more water that's in there, the pastry will become chewy. You want the pastry to be short enough to work with. If it's short enough to work with, you'll get a nice short pastry. If it's got too much water in there and you add more flour to it, you change the complete consistency of the pastry and you end up with a very chewy pastry, which I don't particularly like. There we go. One pasty dough. It's going to be yellow in colour. Yeah. Okay. So I've got my ginger and my garlic and my onions all peeled. The next thing I'm going to do, I said I could shred the grate the potatoes, but I'm going to fine dice them, real fine. Yeah, like that. And I'm going to finely dice the onions and finely dice the garlic and add it to the potatoes and saute it off slowly. Then I'm going to add the mince. Slicing the onion, chopping the onion down. Once that's done, I'm going to add that to the potato. There you go. Garlic, onion, and ginger. Then give it a little stir and let that sweat down. Yeah? Once that's sweat down, I'm going to add it to the bowl, then I'm going to cook off my mince. At this stage, I could, but I won't. I'll add it to the mince. Okay, stop there. Right, I've got some mince here. I'm going to open it up and fry it off with some salt and some curry powder. Then I'm going to add that to the potatoes that's already in the bowl, mix it up, and then I'm going to shape and mould my pasties. So in goes like that. There's more meat than there is cooking utensils. The frying pan is a little bit small, that's why I have to split it in batches like that. Nevertheless, all I'm going to do is just brown it off anyway. So I'm just going to brown off the mince. Salt. Oh, let me see if I can find a spoon. It's easier. About a tablespoon of salt. Then curry powder, about a tablespoon of curry powder. And we cook that until tablespoon or dessert spoon. And we cook that until the meat is brown. When all the meat is brown, then we can add that to the potato. I think I'm going to have too much mince in there for that's alright. I can always do a cottage pie or something like that at another stage. Whatever mince I've got left over another day. Yeah. So that's not going to be a problem. It's a little thing about home cooking. Sometimes the cooking vessel isn't big enough for everything. If you find that your frying pan is too small, just do it in two batches. Don't try to overload the frying pan. It will cause a mess, and then some parts will be uncooked, and so be safe. Okay, My meat is brown, and I am going to add it to the already potatoes. Finally, I'm going to chop some fresh thyme. Lovely fresh thyme. And mix it in to the patty, or the mixture, really. And this will have to cool down there you go. Here's the meat. It'll have to cool down a little bit, and then I can proceed and move on to stage 2, which is I've got the pastry, I've got the mixture. When that cools down, I can start to mould the pasties. Okay, cool. Right, pastry is out of the fridge. What I'm going to do, I'm going to divide this pastry. So if I think I'm looking about 9. I'm looking about 9. So I'm going to go like that. 1, 3, and then I'm going to go like that. 3, and I'll cut it down like that. I'll cut it down like that. Then look about 9 patties. So I'll cut them into squares like that. Then got my rolling pin, or my improvised rolling pin. My surface. Then I'm going to make it round like that. Make sure that the surface is dry, and then I'm going to roll it out. Keeping the surface and the so that it doesn't stick to the surface. And when I'm very satisfied with the size that I want, which is about right, that's about this size. I'm quite happy with this. And the thickness, I can add some of the mince to the, I'm going to just egg wash around the sides there so that it sticks, and then I can put a nice portion of the mixture into the middle. Right, now it is a dry mixture. There's no gravy or anything. It should be a dry mixture. And what will happen is the meat will continue to cook in the oven. Now, what oven temperature? Medium. Right, if you remember right from how I did it the last time, so I bring it like that and press it in like that. So you can see it's pressed in like that, and then I'll start to fold it so it looks like a rope type pattern all the way around, like that, like that. Looking nice? And then I'll finish it off with egg wash, and then I'll put that into my container to be baked later on.